Everybody, welcome to CIT 66, beginning C++ programming. I am your instructor, Brian Baker, and this is obviously not how we would normally do this. But we wanted to teach this class online for a while now, so I guess this is a kick in the pants in order to start that. Regardless, this is one of my weekly sort of low production quality videos, just to get the information out that you need for this week, for this particular course. I am producing a lot of materials right now, and so anything I can do to reduce the workflow is great. Not pulling out the SLR, not pulling out the fancy lights, yada yada. The point being, I want to make sure you get the information that you need. Now, that being said, I am creating a lot of materials, and I am actually behind on this class. So you should expect a demo video from me probably midweek, and that should help you with the week 1 project. Now, that being said, with all the resource videos and the lecture slides and the book itself, and the fact that this first project is so simple, you may be able to get all the work done without it, but I would still like to be the one who's actually teaching you. So, we'll try to make that work. Regardless, expect that video to be coming out soon. This is designed to be 100% asynchronous online. That means that there are no Zoom meetings you need to attend. Everything will just come out and be part of more like a traditional online class, the way that I teach other online classes. So expect that. Now, that being said, I don't want to not see you. So I do have office hours. They're posted in the syllabus. Stop by, check those out. Those are on Zoom, and they are technically synchronous, but they are not required. But if you have a question, you need some help, I want to be there for you. Topic of sort of the weekly workflows of things. The way that this class is going to work is that weeks will start on Tuesday, and they will go all the way till Monday at midnight. That's generally when your stuff is due. So Monday midnight is the deadline for most things, and that prevents all those last-minute questions. They end up happening on the weekdays, not on the weekends. That being said, we also have, so with an online class like this, there's going to be that sort of temptation to have something that's out of sight become out of mind. And so I don't want that to happen, especially in this environment. I want you to stay engaged with the class every week. And so I am making some changes in order to hopefully improve that sort of engagement every week. And one of those things is that I'm going to have much stricter due dates. If you had a class with me in the past, you probably know what I'm talking about. And so everything is due on the day that it's due. So Monday midnight, you have to have stuff in. If you don't, it will take a 20% penalty immediately. And that's because I want you to get that stuff in. Now, that being said, if you look at the syllabus, I also have another policy. You can request a 48-hour extension on any assignment, quiz, discussion, whatever. 48 hours given to you, no questions asked. You don't have to give me an excuse. You just have to say, I'd like a 48-hour extension on this, and I will give it to you. The only time I won't is if you're abusing the system. We talk about that. I give you warnings and stuff ahead of time. But regardless, if you need a little extra time, I don't want to be a jerk. I just want to keep people engaged every week and not letting stuff slide out of mind, because this is computer programming. Everything we do builds on the thing before it. And so if you fall behind, you're going to feel really behind. And I don't want that to happen. As for the type of things you're going to be doing in this class, every week there's going to be a project. That is the meat of the class. It is half of your final grade. And so every week we're going to take those concepts and skills that we learned, we're going to apply them to a practical problem-solving sort of a solution, and create projects. There will also be some discussions. Those are about 10% of your grade. Discussions will be peppered throughout. You don't necessarily have one every week. You happen to have one this week just so you can introduce yourself. But you don't have to, it's not going to be an every week thing. It's just going to be peppered throughout. Some of them are actually going to be based on some peer reviews of selected projects. So there will be some projects where you actually do a peer review, where you'll actually be able to comment and, cheer on your fellow students, but actually see their solutions, right? And by seeing their solutions, you can kind of compare them to your own. And then there'll be a discussion, which is not even really a discussion. It's just a place where you can post your reflections on that peer review process. Your replies will actually be in the peer review. And so those are going to be discussions in this class. The other thing is going to be quizzes. So there are going to be weekly quizzes every single week, unlike previous classes that I've taught. And that's, again, because I want you engaged in the material. I want you reading the textbook every single week. And so this week's quiz is a little bit light, but most of them are going to be light. And the idea here is that they're obviously open note, open book. You're going to do very well on them. You will get 2 shots at every quiz, and after that, it is done. You will only get to see what you got right and wrong, like after you immediately submit. And when if you do decide to take it that second time, you may not get the exact same questions, right? They come from a pool. So they're all custom questions from me, but still, yeah, quizzes every single week. And then there will also be a final exam at the end. It's just going to be essentially a big quiz that's very cumulative. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. But those are sort of your major activities for, the class. As for this week, the things you want to get done before you even start on the assignments is number 1, get access to the textbook. There's a video showing you how to do that. And then there will also be a lecture video, again, that's coming, hopefully midweek, that you should check out. The big first thing you're going to need is going to be to install CLion. If you have a Mac machine or a Linux machine, this is actually very simple. You just download and install. You're set to go. That's just because those machines happen to already have they happen to have GCC and G++, those compilers already built in. All Unix machines do. Windows machines, however, do not have a C++ compiler built in. So in order to use CLion, you have to download a compiler first. My suggestion is MinGW. There's a video showing you that process and how to do it, how to get everything set up, and then you just install CLion. CLion, if you do the MinGW first, CLion will see that you have a compiler, automatically grab it, and you're fine. But otherwise, if you have questions, throw them out to me. There are some other solutions you can do. You can do Visual Studio, but later on in the class when we get to object-oriented programming, CLion has some really nice features that are going to make things a lot easier. So, and that will allow us to, as we're doing demos and stuff, think more about solving problems rather than typing code, for whatever that's worth for you. So those are the things you probably want to get done before you actually start doing the assignments for this week. As for your graded assignments this week, there are 3, which is a lot for week 1, but they're all fairly simple. So the first one is a discussion where you're just introducing yourself. There's no computer science in it at all. This is just trying to create a friendly atmosphere here in this online environment. So introduce yourself. If you can, throw up a picture of yourself. That would be awesome. Not required. It's not part of the prompt, but do it if you can. And then obviously you'll have your first quiz, which is going to be based on the reading and some of the lecture videos and other videos that are there. And so hopefully that'll be fairly straightforward. And then your first project. Your first project is going to be to tell me a joke. That's it. Basically, because your first project is just getting CLion set up on your computer, getting yourself to a point where you can have code, edit code, run code, and then submit your source code to me through Canvas. That's the real thing. Again, taking Hello World and printing Hello World to the screen into like telling a joke to the screen is pretty trivial. But again, it's supposed to be. This is like your first week. Like just knock this ball, out of the park and, have a success your first week out. So there you go. If you have any questions, obviously send me a message through Canvas. That is the best way to reach me. If you send me an email, I cannot tell you how many hundreds of emails I'm getting every week. It is ridiculous. I've got a whole VIP system set up. Canvas sends a notification to my phone, much easier, much cleaner. You're not going to get lost in the noise. So, yeah, have a great first week. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you. And, yeah, 2020. Am I right?